Oil long and a NAS short, Bitcoin doing Bitcoin things. Guys, this is the daily entry. I'm bringing you day trading setups on the NAS, Dow, gold, oil, and of course BTC. Let's go. Big news today, well, it's big news this week, is obviously now NVIDIA and PCE data coming out tomorrow. Also, we've got war escalation and we got the treasury operation happening here. So lots of market movers at the moment, creating tons of volatility and tons of options here for traders. Obviously, the Bitcoin shorters, myself included, aren't doing very well at the moment. We covered this one yesterday on the 𝗕𝗏𝗥𝗧 YouTube live trading. We had one trader hitting his 15 short 40x 23 million. Didn't end well, and my short didn't end very well yesterday either, in spite starting relatively nicely, guys. So let's jump into our big markers here for today, and then we're going to get into BTC directly after this. Now, I've been talking about a bearish oil situation for the last couple of days, and you can see this is now playing out. Remember, sometimes some very basic TA can tell you a story, and we had that bearish wedge on oil, we had bearish signs, and now it has eventually rolled over. Now I'm looking at it at the 2-hour time frame at the moment, and we can see the Dow and the NAS are pushing up relatively nicely, but we might be moving into an oil bounce zone just around the corner. So I just want to exercise a bit of caution here. Anybody sitting long NAS, Dow, we are moving into short zones, while oil is moving into a potential bounce zone. So I am actually looking to trade oil today. Yesterday we were using it as a guide for the markets. Today it looks like a trade for me coming 81 into about 80.3, and this is the WTI crude oil. Make sure you are using the correct chart and make sure you are tying it in with your trading exchange. So you can see my alarm is sitting on here for oil, looking for a bounce. You can see right now it's having a little bit of a fight with the VWAP. You might find a premature bounce here on oil, but I think the real long for us today should be around about that region. And in terms of risk, guys, you want to keep it to 1.5% risk on oil, and we're looking for about a 2-to-1 bounce on this guy, and that should be enough to give a short on the NAS and the Dow. Let's talk about the NAS here quickly, and there are 2 trades for me available on the NAS today, nothing else. Okay, so short number 1, 20,400. This region looks pretty interesting. Now, it's a relatively broad zone and slightly broader than I normally like, and the main reason is this VWAP coming in from the highs and these wicks that you see tying in that region. So there is the possibility that we pump into that zone and then hit that VWAP and then roll over. So what I want you to do here is just manage your sizing in that region, because this is quite a wide zone, and if it does blow through that, the stop is going to be a little bit wider. Now, in terms of our oscillator, you can see 45 minutes getting overcooked, so things are starting to sort of lean in the favor that we could get some kind of short-term roll over 29.4 into this 29.450 region. If it does carry on, I've got a similar situation up here for the NAS. Now, I've got 2 beautiful zones. 29.560 looks pretty good into these wicks at 29.600, so that is box number 1. And then I just want to leave a note here. You see this wick to the upside, it is a little bit annoying that it's sitting up there at 26.64. But in terms of my short play, I'm going to try this guy over here. If they do overextend, I think we can have a second dip in that upper region. Remember, these charts, they go into the 𝗕𝗏𝗥𝗧 Discord for you. They'll be available in my channel, the daily entry channel, specifically in our Discord, and you can find all of these setups here and updates. So if I do take some of these trades during the course of the day, you will get updated in the Discord. Just go to the link in the show description. Now, let's talk about the Dow. What is going on? So my first short order has actually pinged here for today on UBIT. So we picked up 1 lot. I've got 2 more lots coming, and I've got a stop on UBIT, 53,806 at the moment. Remember, if you want to trade with me on BitBase or UBIT, just jump into the show description. There is a link there for you guys. Okay, let's go and talk about this Dow now. First things first, 45 minute is getting a little bit overcooked. Look how hot we are getting at the moment here on this guy, and we are pushing into our first bearish region. Now, I've highlighted these order blocks because I want to show you the amount of confluence in this region. Look at that bearish order block there. You can see this blue line coming down here is the VWAP, and we do have another bearish order block that we are pinging into at the moment. So let's take those away. And now, in terms of regions, in terms of zones that we can experiment with some shorts, this is the first area of interest, 53,690 into this box over here, and that is up to 53,800. That makes sense. sense. So just look for a sweep. We do have the little bit of a tricky situation with all these wicks riding a little bit higher up, so it does make things a little bit more challenging today. So just like that NAS, just exercise a bit of caution with how big you are going, because you might find they wick it a little bit higher in these types of situations. So look out for that on the Dow, and then a little bit higher up, look at this banger up here. I've got a leftover wick. You can see how that VWAP was acting as resistance in that upper region. Look at that wick there. We've got a regular 618 pull as well. So 53,980 looks good to me. Those are the two short options at the moment on the Dow. I can't see any longs right now until we get some kind of pullback, and then I'll deal with that in the hackers Discord. So far what we're looking at here is a potential oil bounce and a possible Dow and NAS rejection. Now if oil keeps dropping, you might find these guys keep climbing, so make sure you are checking in the Discord in my channel for those updates. Let's talk about gold, or let's just update gold. I don't have any fresh trades on gold. I have already cut that short that I showed you guys yesterday, and this was a simple move into a 786 and undercarriage gold. Still looking relatively bearish for me at the moment, and I think there is the possibility we can collect one more sweep of gold into these highs and then a drop. So I will update in the Discord 4,690. If we come and tap that region again, there might be a nice tight short with a tight stop for us in play, because we are teeing up bearish on gold again on the 8-hour time frame. So no fresh trades here for me unless we go a little bit higher. Now let's talk about the big dog here. Absolutely hurt my feelings yesterday, and we have now popped a little bit higher. And in terms of the high conviction short zones that I had for BTC, we are now beyond that zone. So simply what I'm doing now is I'm looking at the 3-day and I'm saying to myself, okay, like could be potentially coming into play now, leading into PCE, leading into NVIDIA earnings, perhaps could be around the corner. Maybe we get that flush in the next couple of days. So 83 into 84 is looking like the next possible zone here on BTC in terms of the 3-day chart. Now if we jump into the lower time frame, let's take a look at what is going on here at the moment. So yesterday's short play was looking beautiful for those that were happy with a short-term scalp. Now, obviously, this happened while I was sleeping, and they came and they took me out to the upside. But, you know, the principle was there. We swept the highs. We dropped. There just wasn't any continuation on that guy. So what are we looking for today? Well, at the moment, you can see Bitcoin and altcoins, funnily enough, turning very bearish now. You can see that 1-hour printing divergence rolling over. You can see the 2-hour time frame as well rolling over slightly here with BTC, and so far you might be seeing a de-risk into the NVIDIA earnings and the PCE data coming out tomorrow. But what does this mean for us in the short term on Bitcoin? So I'm not specifically looking for any major Bitcoin trades until we get lower down now. I want to see this weekend low get taken out at roughly 75.5. That looks great to me. And then the big macro zone that I covered for you guys yesterday was our super bullish 236 fib sitting in that region with some horizontal tie-in, and that was about 74.5 into 74k. So those are the conviction long zones for me to the downside. But in terms of scalping and stuff like this today that could turn into something a little bit more interesting, what are the zones that make sense? Well, you can see here our local bull zone. We've got a local VWAP in play. So the first area of interest here for scalpers, 78.4 into that wick fill at about 77,900. So look at this wick that you see over here for BTC. That could come into play. So 78.4 into roughly 77,900. Then I have another local reaction zone. It's quite a high confluence zone. It's an order block 786 VWAP and horizontal, where the scalpers should get some kind of bounce there. 76,770 looks interesting to me, but you might find during the course of today you get something like this playing out for you until we drop into a bigger Bitcoin bounce zone. So no specific trades unless we are going lower, or for BTC for me, unless we start pumping into that 83, 84. Okay, guys, that is your daily entry. Play it safe, keep it tight. We are live trading on the Chart Hackers YouTube later on today, and also the Bitfunder challenge chart starts today. You should be able to get a link in that show description as well. See you guys later.